Hey, Sean here, and in this video I'm going to go over 7 ways that you can make your website stand out. Now, your website is your company's virtual face online. Having a poorly designed site or even a poorly functioning site can result in you losing business. In fact, 94% of people said that they don't trust a website that's outdated. And then 75% of people said that they base the credibility of a company or business based on how its website looks and functions. So as you can see, your website plays a huge impact on how people perceive your company and even whether they're going to do business with you. So in this video, I'm going to help you out with that by giving you these 7 ways that you can help your website stand out from the crowd, and you can start applying this stuff right after you watch this video. All right, let's dive into those 7 ways that you can make your website stand out, starting with number 1, which is to use better images. Now, images on your website play a huge impact into how people perceive not only your site, but also they associate that with your company. You want to use images that actually communicate what your web page is talking about, and they look professional, and at the same time, it's not the same images that everybody else is using. Now, a lot of people get caught up in that, and they use stock photography that everyone else, their competitors, the people in their industry, or just generally people are using these same types of images, and they're using those on their website. That's where you want to make sure you're different. You know, using stock photography is okay. It's just that you want to make sure you're honing in on these key things. It's not the same images that everyone else in your industry or your competitors are using, and that the image actually goes with the content on that page. A lot of times I find people like a certain image, or it kind of goes with their industry or even what they do, but it doesn't really go with what they're talking about on that web page. And that does play into whether someone thinks a web page is good or not, and it does impact whether it stands out in their mind. So what I suggest is go to your competitors' sites, go to the other websites in your industry, look at what images they're using, try not to use the same types of images, and then try to focus in on, you know, what image would actually portray what I'm talking about on this page. And that's the image you want to get for your page. On top of that, of course, if you can, go and get an actual photographer to take your own photos. That would be the ideal thing. Get photos from your actual business, of your staff, of your customers, of your services, your products, and get those onto your website, because people can tell the difference between a stock photography and something that you actually did that's unique to your company. And obviously, the more unique it is, the more actual real it is, the more it's going to stand out in their mind, because they've never seen that photo anywhere else, and it will make much clearer sense when you're having that picture next to the text talking about it, and they can actually see your real, office or the real product that they're getting, etc. So with that one, let's move on to our next one, which is number 2, and that's having an amazing design. Now, this is sort of obvious. If you have an amazing design, it's going to make your website stand out. But there's a couple things with this. Sometimes I realize people can't always afford to get the most aesthetic looking website or the best looking website out there. But you should at least go and check out all of your competitors and some of your industry sites, and then make sure your website is just a couple notches above that. So making it sure that it's just a little bit better than your competitors or the ones in your industry, that can make you stand out. And again, people notice that, and they attribute that professionalism and the fact that your website looks better, they attribute that characteristics with your company, thinking that you're going to have a better, higher quality of service. And you can see that in packaging and material, things that you buy at the store. If it has a poor looking package, you're probably going to think it's a cheap product. But if it has a good looking package, you tend to think that it's more expensive or luxury, and you expect it to have a higher quality. So make sure your website matches that and has a higher quality, and people will start to perceive you and your services with a higher quality as well. All right, with that one, let's move on to our next one, number 3, which is implementing animation. Now, this is a great one, and it's rather simple. It doesn't have to be something complex and all sorts of things moving and going on your website. You can use simple things to just sort of portray a little bit extra on your site. For example, as somebody's scrolling down through your page, having things kind of move into place or fade in, or even as you mouse over something, maybe it changes color or moves a bit. Those little subtle things make an impact. It can really turn a website that is sort of bland into something that does stand out, and it sort of gives you that extra finish that people are going to notice, and they're going to think with, hey, this company went the extra mile on their website. They're probably going to go the extra mile with me in their services and products. So it's a great way, again, to make your website stand out and make your company look like it's, again, a higher quality. All right, so with that one, let's move on to our next one, number 4, which is to use compelling copy. Now, this is a huge one that a lot of people just don't seem to really implement on their site. The copy or text on your website should really sell your company and give people that perception of whatever characteristic trait you want to associate with your company, whether it's a good company or that we're a high quality company, whatever that is for you, you really want to sell people on that, and you use your text, that copy on your site, to really do that. What I would suggest is making sure your headlines really hone in on that and sort of sell that point to people, and that they also too, in that reader's mind, sort of create a little bit of mystery that they then want to go and read the rest of your body copy on that page. And then from there, then it creates a little bit more mystery with them, that they actually want to find out, hey, wow, this is interesting. I want to contact them about that product or service, or even I want to purchase it just from what I'm reading there. It kind of gives me a little bit of curiosity. Now, a lot of you out there, even your website might just be an informational website, so you're not really selling a product. That still doesn't mean that you shouldn't do this. You should still be selling on your website. Only what you're selling might be different. You may be selling the point that your company is good, or that you're quality, or that you're one of the top brands. You know, there's whatever point that is, your text should be always communicating and selling that point. The repetition of that message over and over can make your website not only stand out and they get a clear picture of that, but that person then perceives your company as being whatever that is that you're trying to keep say and tell them throughout the body copy of your site and the headlines. All right, with that one, let's move on to our next one, number 5, which is to keep your website fresh. Now, this is a big one. As I mentioned before, 94% of people do not trust a website that is outdated. So you should never let your website get outdated, because chances are most people visiting your site then are going to think your company and website is not really trustworthy. So with this, you know, there are a couple extra things with it that most people don't think with when they think of outdated, and it's not just the design that needs to be updated, but it's also the copy and the text on the website. If you don't have the current pricing structure or the current products or services, or maybe your team page doesn't have all your team members on it, or people that left are still on there, those are also things that make your website outdated. And people do notice that, and then they do not trust your website, and that trust factor can leak into how they feel about your company overall. So making sure on the low end that you at least have all the content up to date, and your website doesn't have a really old looking design. Those are things I would just make sure, you know, that's going to sort of get you to the a point where you're sort of in a state where you're sort of average, compared to everyone else. But if you can really make sure that your website stays up to date all the time, the design is, very fresh, you're going to start to sort of peel away and look a little bit better than a lot of the other websites in your industry, because like I said, a lot of people aren't necessarily following this, so you're going to stand out if you do it. All right, with that one, let's move on to number 6, which is to use testimonials on your site. Now, this is a good one to help you stand out. And the reason is, if you think about this, say you go to Amazon, what's the first thing you look at if it's a new product you don't know anything about? Usually, you're going to look at the reviews and see how many stars it got, what are people saying about it, and there's a reason why you do that, because we trust what other people's opinions are on a product more than we do of the person who's actually selling it. So you should use that on your website. And when you go to Amazon and you look at those reviews, when you go to talk to someone else about that product, usually most of the time the thing that you think about or the thing you're talking to other people about are what other people said about it. So with that, your website should be putting testimonials throughout, sprinkled on key pages and key sections on those web pages, because people are going to think with that and it's going to make your website stand out. All right, with that one, we're going to move on to our last one, which is to use video. There are so many people who are not using videos on their website right now. And that can really play into your hand, because all you have to do is put a couple videos, 1 or 2, and your website's going to start to stand out from other people. If you can do more than that, that's great. And a key thing with this is they don't have to be done by some professional. You can use an iPhone or a mobile device or your cell phone to do a video. Just make sure that the quality of the lighting and you have a nice background, and that most importantly, the audio sounds good. If you can do that and you look presentable and it looks like how you would want your company to be presented as far as how you're dressed or the background looks, then you're probably going to be fine with it. The image doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exactly, look 100% done by some photography or film company. Now, again, with this, what I see happen is a couple added benefits when you do add video to your site, and that's that you increase people's engagement of the website. Because let's face it, not a lot of people want to sit there and read through a bunch of text, but a lot of times people are willing to just click play and watch a video. And in the end, they're going to remember that, and that's going to make your website again stand out. On top of that, you get an added benefit with that with search ranking. So when you're ranking in Google, Google looks at a couple things that are related to this. They look at, do you use multimedia things like videos and images, etc. on your website? If you do, Google values your website a little bit more than those who don't. On top of that, when people are engaging more with your website, Google notices this, and they tend to think that a website is more valuable if people are engaging with it more and doing things more on it and spending more time on that website. It seems to be that website seems to be a better fit or answer for a particular search thing that people are searching for. So they want to show that, because Google always wants to have a website that kind of reflects, what the person's looking for. I mean, nobody wants to go and search for something and then end up on a website that's just totally disrelated and doesn't really give them an answer. They'll get frustrated with the search engine, even though, it may be really the fault of the website owner. But with that in respect, so what Google does is it tries to find sites that sort of fit into a better, package with that, where they have these things like video, etc. on their site, because again, it makes your website stand out. So there you go with that. That one is a great one that can help you in more than just standing out, but again, search engines, and also to keep people on your website and thinking about you. So with that, I do want to give you something for free. In the bottom of this video, there is going to be a link in the description and it's going to give you a free evaluation of all these points I talked about, and we'll look at some other things and find out really what you need on your website that's going to make your site stand out. And we can go through you with that on your website with you and go through that whole evaluation. All you got to do is fill out that form and with that link in the description, and you'll get that, and you should really take advantage of that. And then if you're on this video watching it on YouTube, make sure you've clicked to give us a thumbs up that you like it. And if you haven't subscribed to our video channel here, you should subscribe to it. And once you've done that, there's a little bell icon that you can click that will allow YouTube to notify you every time we create one of these awesome videos. So make sure you click that too once you're subscribed. And until then, I wish you the best with making your website stand out.